Hey guys, and welcome back to another lesson. Are you sad by not having enough sad piano music here on YouTube? Well, don't be sad anymore. I'm gonna teach you how to play your own sad piano music. When we're done with this lesson, you'll sound like this. So today I'm going to walk you through some of the ideas so you can make your own melodies, not just copy what I just played. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do before starting any of the playing or just anything is just two small modifications. Start up your keyboard or piano, choose whatever sound you want, and you should do two things. First of all, turn on your reverb. So I'm using a Nord stage, so I have a particular set of reverbs, but you should find yours on your own keyboard and add it so you can get a nice spacey sound. The second thing, if you have it, you can turn on an equalizer on your piano sound to make it a bit muffled. So now it sounds like this. And that kind of adds a sad, wistful character to your piano. You don't have to do this, but it kind of sounds nice. We're going to talk about a few things, and we're going to start with the left hand. The left hand is going to play some sort of chord. And a chord is just a collection of notes. For example, this is called an A minor, this is an F major, a G major, and just to give you a collection of chords you can choose from when you start playing, I'm going to give you a few of these. So you're going to start with A minor, usually, and then some of the other chords you could use would be C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and A minor. You can play them in any octave, so this is an A minor, and this is an A minor, and this is an A minor. This is a bit too down on the keyboard, so it sounds a bit muddy. So I would suggest avoid using chords that are too far down on the keyboard. Now, instead of just holding the chord, you want to give it some sort of motion. And there are many ways of doing this. For example, you can just hit the chord. That's one sort of motion. You can arpeggiate the chord. So this means that you play the notes in some sort of pattern. For example, and of course you can do this with any chord, for example with an F major. Right? Another way of adding motion is hitting the lowest note and then the top notes and repeating them. Now here I have a particular metric I'm using. This would be a 3/4, right? So it has 6/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. kind of makes it feel like a waltz. You don't have to do this, you can do this in a more straight manner, let's say 4 quarters. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? So this has a different feel to it. So choose how many times you're going to count, or what's your basic repeating unit. How many beats does it have? The next thing to decide, after you decide on the type of motion for your chord, is the progression of the chords themselves. And there are some ways, common ways to which chords lead into each other. For example, an F would often go to a G and then to an A minor. Not necessarily, just one option. An F could also go to a D minor, or just straight to the A minor. A G might go to the A minor, or might go to the E minor. A D minor would often go to a G major, or straight to the A minor. These are just some simple ideas to get you started. So, for example, let's pick one simple progression. F major, G major, A minor. Now, while you're playing this with your left hand, you want to play some sort of melody with your right hand. The notes that fit the chord most naturally are the notes of the chord itself. So if you're playing an F major, you'd want to hit, at least on the beats themselves, either an F, an A, or a C. For a G, you might hit a G, a B, or a D. Now, you can of course move between other notes, between the beats. So now it's really where the art comes into your playing. You want to build a melody in your right hand that fits the chords in the left hand, but you want it to make some sort of sense. So you might want to have some sort of motif, some sort of basic unit or idea that repeats itself, just on different notes, or sometimes it changes a bit. For example, if you're playing the F major, maybe you'll play something like, and then for the G major, and for the A minor, so maybe you'll get something like, now the trick really in composition is working with these motifs and building them up. For example, here I play the repeating quick notes on the bottom, but you can also, in the next chord, so you can play them up. Sometimes you'll play notes that are outside the chords. For example, for an A minor, Sometimes a G works quite nicely, or even a B. It creates some sort of dissonance or something that wants to resolve. So sometimes for a G, an F would sound nice. So again, it's just a matter of playing around with and seeing which notes fit to your taste on which chords. I'll leave you with one last thought before signing off, because you can really build a lot of different things with what I've just taught you. First of all, there are many other chords you can use in your left hand. For example, playing the things that we've already played, an E major chord would fit nicely and lead to an F major or to an A minor. So maybe something like And one last thing is that many of these chords can be played in different ways. For example, one thing that you can do is you can move the different notes around in the left hand. So you don't have to play A minor like this. You can take this E, or any note really, and move it up or down in octaves. So you can take this E, move it down here. And this would still be an A minor. And then you can play an F major. This would be a D minor, right? Because here's my D minor, take this lowest note, move it up. And then a G major. Now the point of doing this is you see that the different chords I play are really close to each other. This is called voice leading. It makes the chords flow more nicely into each other, rather than just jumping all over the place. It's not necessary, but it just certainly sounds nice. Right? And notice the motif in my right hand. Motif, and then repeats. Same rhythm, same structure. That's it for now. I've given you some ideas you can play around with. I hope you'll fiddle with them and find your own sort of artistic voice, and that you've learned something interesting, and I will see you next time.